Imagine a world where a simple touch could spread a terrible disease. A world where human connection, the very essence of our social fabric, becomes a source of fear and dread. This was the harsh reality for those living with leprosy in ancient times. Their lives were marked by suffering not just from the physical pain of the disease, but from the emotional torment of being ostracized. They were outcasts, forced to live in isolation, shunned by society. The fear of contagion drove communities to banish them, leaving them to fend for themselves in desolate places. Their bodies were ravaged by the disease, their spirits often broken by loneliness and despair. The stigma attached to leprosy was as damaging as the disease itself, stripping them of their dignity and hope. Into this world stepped Jesus, a beacon of hope in the darkness. His presence brought light to the darkest corners of human suffering, offering a glimmer of hope where there was none. Matthew chapter 8 tells the story of one such man, a leper desperate for healing. This man, shunned and broken, dared to approach Jesus, driven by a faint hope that he might be healed. He had heard whispers of Jesus, of miracles performed and lives transformed. These stories, passed from person to person, kindled a spark of faith in his heart. This encounter, brief yet powerful, reveals the heart of Jesus and the transformative nature of his ministry. In a single touch, Jesus bridged the chasm of isolation, offering not just physical healing, but emotional and spiritual restoration. It's a story that echoes through millennia, offering hope and healing to a world still grappling with brokenness. The message of compassion and restoration continues to resonate, reminding us of the power of love and the possibility of renewal. We find Jesus having just descended from a mountain, a place of spiritual elevation where he had been teaching the crowds. He had shared words of wisdom, pronouncements of hope, and promises of a kingdom yet to come. But Jesus doesn't remain aloof, distant on a mountaintop. He descends, a physical representation of his willingness to meet us where we are, in our brokenness, in our pain. He comes down to the level of the outcast, the forgotten, the one deemed untouchable. This simple act, moving from a place of authority to a place of suffering, speaks volumes about the character of Jesus. He is a God who sees, who hears, and who cares. The leper approaches Jesus, an act of incredible boldness. He throws himself at Jesus' feet, a gesture of utter humility and desperation. "Lord," he cries out, "if you are willing, you can make me clean." This man, ostracized and deemed unclean, dares to believe that Jesus can heal him. He doesn't demand, he pleads, he doesn't doubt Jesus' power, but he acknowledges his need for Jesus' mercy. His words are a testament to the power of faith, a faith that dares to hope even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Jesus' response is immediate, visceral. He doesn't recoil from the leper's touch, doesn't shy away from the disease that had rendered this man an outcast. Instead, he reaches out his hand and touches him. This act, seemingly insignificant, is revolutionary. In a society where touch determined inclusion or exclusion, Jesus breaks down barriers. He embraces the untouchable, demonstrating a love that knows no bounds, a compassion that transcends social norms. This touch, filled with divine power and infinite tenderness, becomes a conduit for healing and restoration. Section 5, Be Clean, the power of Jesus' word. With the same authority that calmed storms and commanded demons, Jesus speaks. "I am willing," he says, his voice filled with compassion yet firm with power. "Be clean." In that instant, the leper is healed. The disease that ravaged his body, that isolated him from society, vanishes. The power of Jesus' word brings about a miraculous transformation, a testament to his divinity and his authority over sickness and suffering. This is a moment of pure, unadulterated grace. The leper doesn't earn his healing, he receives it, a free gift from the hand of a loving God. Section 6, Obedience and Healing, two sides of the same coin. Jesus, however, doesn't stop there. His teachings and actions go beyond mere words. He instructs the healed man to go and show himself to the priest and offer the sacrifice Moses commanded. This was not just a ritualistic act, but a profound gesture rooted in tradition and law. This act of obedience served a dual purpose. On one hand, it adhered to the religious customs of the time, ensuring that the man was recognized as clean by the community. It declared the man clean according to the law, allowing him to re-enter society. This reintegration was crucial for his social and spiritual well-being. But it also served as a testament to Jesus' authority. His command to follow the law underscored his respect for tradition while simultaneously showcasing his divine power. It was a public declaration that the healing was real, undeniable, and a direct result of Jesus' divine power. The crowd's reaction of awe and wonder further amplified the significance of the miracle. This simple act highlights the importance of obedience in the life of a believer. Obedience is not just about following rules blindly, but about understanding and embracing the deeper meaning behind those rules. It's not merely about following rules, but about living in alignment with God's will, acknowledging His authority in every aspect of our lives. This alignment brings a sense of purpose and direction, guiding believers in their daily actions and decisions. Through obedience, believers demonstrate their faith and trust in God's plan, fostering a community built on mutual respect, love, and understanding. This harmonious living is the true essence of following God's will. Section 7, a timeless message, hope for the hurting. This encounter, though brief, carries profound implications for us today, resonating through the ages. It reminds us that Jesus sees our suffering, our loneliness, and our deepest pain. He doesn't shy away from our brokenness, but reaches out with compassion, understanding, and love. Like the leper, we too can approach Jesus with boldness, asking for His healing touch in our lives, seeking His grace. We may not always receive physical healing, but we can be assured of His presence, His comfort, and His unwavering love and support. The story whispers a timeless message of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, God is near, ready to meet us in our need and offer solace. Section 8. Beyond physical healing, the depth of Jesus' touch. While the physical healing of the leper is astounding, this story speaks to a deeper healing, a restoration of the soul. The leper was not only physically sick, but also socially and spiritually isolated. Jesus' touch brought about not only physical wholeness, but also social reintegration and spiritual renewal. He was welcomed back into the community, no longer an outcast, but a testament to God's power and mercy. This reminds us that Jesus' healing extends beyond the physical. He desires to mend our hearts, restore our relationships, and bring us into right relationship with God and with others. He longs to make us whole, inside and out. Section 9. Living out the miracle, compassion in action. In this chapter, we delve into the profound impact of living a life filled with compassion, inspired by the teachings and actions of Christ. The story of the leper challenges us to be vessels of Christ's compassion in the world today. It reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of love and care, no matter their condition or status. We are called to see the outcasts, the marginalized, the forgotten, those deemed untouchable by society. These individuals often live in the shadows, unseen and unheard, yet they are the very ones Christ sought out and embraced. We are called to extend a hand of kindness, to offer words of hope, to be instruments of God's love and healing in a hurting world. This calling is not limited to grand gestures, but includes the small, everyday acts of kindness that can transform lives. This may look like volunteering at a homeless shelter, where a warm meal and a friendly smile can make a world of difference to someone in need. Advocating for the rights of the oppressed, standing up against injustice, and using our voices to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. Or simply offering a listening ear to someone who is struggling. Sometimes, the greatest gift we can give is our presence and our willingness to listen without judgment. Each act of compassion, no matter how small, reflects the heart of Jesus and continues His ministry of healing and restoration in the world today. By embodying compassion in our daily lives, we become living testaments to the transformative power of love and kindness. Section 10. A promise whispered through time, you are not alone. The story of Jesus healing the leper is more than just a historical account. It's a living testament to the character of God and his heart for humanity. It's a promise whispered through time, echoing in the depths of our being. You are not alone. No matter what disease we face, what pain we carry, what isolation we endure, Jesus sees us. He hears our cries, he knows our suffering, and he reaches out to us, offering his healing touch, his unconditional love, and his unwavering presence. In him we find hope. In him we find healing. In him we find wholeness.